This is Nathan Walbert, and I'm delighted to tell you a little of some of the ways this parish of St. Luke's has developed in me a pledge to support our ministries and operations. My household includes my spouse Andrew, who you may have seen serving as a greeter with me and in other roles, and our cockatoo parrot, Sweet Pea. Some of you met and engaged with her just last month at the Pet Blessing. We have been attending for just over 2 years. Prior to that, we had visited St. Luke's for lessons and carols and other musical events, and even brought along neighbors, friends, and out-of-town visitors. We already were in love with the choir and the music program, so when we found ourselves 2 years ago looking for a church home, we knew this was a good place to try. We had only been coming regularly for a few weeks when these stewardship announcements started. We hadn't been quite ready to think about that, but decided we're not just visitors anymore, and to make a pledge for that coming year of 2024. Well into that new year, we realized we had signed up for the offering envelopes, but had not picked them up. I think it's because every Sunday someone was coming up to introduce themselves and get to know us as newcomers. We never made it back to the vestry table. Finally, one Sunday, the vestry person of the day hunted us down during coffee hour and gave us our set. Just one of the many ways that we experienced this place proactively welcoming us as newcomers. When I signed up for the email newsletter, one of the first things that caught my attention was an upcoming program about bird collision monitoring group that is active in Chicago and also here in Evanston. At the time, we had just recently been on our own very first guided walk with a local birding group along the Chicago River, and had just learned about this issue about building design and bird mortality. We attended the presentation over in the parlor and left encouraged and inspired. So early on, we could see that this community had enough room within its walls and time to present real needs that we saw in the world outside, no matter how large or small. In another outstanding learning experience, we joined an intergenerational class and got hands-on with paper and scissors. Inspired by the artist Henri Matisse, it started with a discussion exploring the spirituality in the life and work of this man, and then along with budding and established artists of all ages, got work on our own collage masterpieces. A more recent highlight was the display of the St. John's Bible artwork right here on these walls in the nave, along with a session by one of the participating artists who presented to us remotely. We were intrigued by her telling of how the production team made creative choices and collaborated with colleagues across great distances. It helped expand my vision of the Bible to engage with its truth in visual and other nonverbal ways. And growing up and well into my adulthood, I was in settings where a verbal knowledge of the Bible could crowd out other ways of engaging with faith. I still cherish aspects of specific Swedish religious heritage that was my mother's and into which my father married. But I am more enriched now by how we approach the Word of God here at St. Luke's, supported by our liturgy and sacraments and flowing out into advocacy and action. I joined my first Episcopal church 25 years ago, invited by Andrew. So I did emulate my father in that I joined the faith tradition in which my spouse grew up. That small congregation, where we were for a few years while we started our life together, was as beloved to its people as St. Luke's is to us now, and has a similar history of a century or more. But sometime after we relocated away from there to Chicago, that parish closed. So I don't take for granted the constant renewal that must happen for the rich variety of activities here to continue. You do hear many requests from up here across the seasons for valued ministries and projects that have their own appeals. But your annual pledge at this time is unique in that it enables us as a community to make plans for the whole of next year, and that planning in turn allows all the other beautiful things we see happening around us. It does take all of us, and that is why I gladly choose to pledge. Thank you.